If you're on this video, it's because you're starting to increase the length, the duration of your workouts or training sessions. In this case, paying attention to nutrition strategies can be even more crucial. The right fuel can make all the difference for your performance and recovery. Let's dive in. First, let's explain hydration strategies for the longer workout. Before your workout, ensure that you're already adequately hydrated. Drink water throughout the day and consider a small, well-balanced snack to pair with your water. Make sure you have that about 1 to 2 hours before your workout so you have time to digest. Really key component here. A lot of people end up over drinking water. Just drink to thirst. There's a lot of information out there that you have to force a certain amount of water. General rule of thumb, we say drink to thirst. Now for the individuals out there that hate water, they hate the taste of it, they have a really hard time drinking it, maybe you may need to be a little bit more concerned because you opt for coffees and teas and anything but water. In that case, general rule of thumb you can try to opt for other than just drinking to thirst is, what is my body weight? Let's just say it's 130 pounds. You're going to drink half of that in ounces of water per day. Spread out across the day, sipping it, drinking to thirst. So in that event, you would be drinking or aiming for 65 ounces of water throughout the day if you were 130 pounds. That's just an example though. Please, first and foremost, drink to thirst and consider a little bit of an electrolyte supplement if you feel like you are dehydrated. One way to know if you're in fact losing water is to weigh yourself before and after exercise, making sure you're being mindful of how much water you have ingested and see exactly how much water you may be losing. Similarly, during your workout, if you sweat a lot, you may need more water, but you need to make sure that you balance it with electrolytes and don't just drink water. Make sure that the electrolyte is balanced with sodium and potassium. There are other electrolytes other than that, but in general, make sure that it's not just a sodium-based electrolyte. One that I like is this one. I use it a lot. It's a potassium-based electrolyte. And the reason I suggest this is because oftentimes, especially in our society's nutrition choices, we tend to drastically overconsume sodium in the first place and very rarely consume enough potassium that we need. I do really like this one because it has about 1,000 milligrams of potassium in it per serving. The sodium on this one is, I believe it's only 40 milligrams for this, and very, very small amount. Liquid IV, just as an example, it varies sodium content, but it's over 200 for the one that I've tried before. So it's pretty high in sodium, not so much in potassium. That's why I like this one. I'll provide a link to this below in the description. I also have much more information about sodium intake in my other video, sodium intake. Go ahead and check that out. You'll find a lot of information about electrolytes in there. After your longer workout, same idea, hydrate accordingly, replenish electrolytes if required, and please be mindful of your sweating and also of the temperature outside. If it's super dry, super hot, be mindful of that. You may still need to replenish your electrolytes. All right, moving on to nutrition strategies now. Let's talk about carbohydrates and fats. While carbohydrates are generally considered the primary source of energy for endurance training, healthy fats also play a crucial role, particularly for longer duration activities where the body is tapping into the body's fat stores as a source of energy. Ensuring a balanced intake of healthy carbohydrates such as whole grains, fruits, and vegetables, balanced with healthy fats such as avocados, nuts, and seeds, can provide a comprehensive nutrition strategy. However, as always, every body is different. Go for your energetic preference. Carbohydrates, you prefer it, your body needs it, or you prefer that style of consumption, go for it. If you prefer more of a fat-based approach, go for it. Everybody's different. All right, let's talk about protein. Protein is crucial for recovery and muscle repair. Try to incorporate whole sources of lean protein to help your body recover from the new, longer training sessions. How much protein should you have exactly? Check out my video on protein consumption for mature adults. Older adults need a bit more protein, but it might not be as much as you're thinking. Next up, nutrition strategy, nutrient timing. When to eat. Nutrient timing can influence your performance and your recovery. Consider having a light, balanced meal 2 to 3 hours before a longer run or a longer training session. to ensure adequate energy availability. While in the past, it's been said that you should hurry up and get your protein as quick as possible 30 minutes after training, research shows that it doesn't really provide any significant benefit to hurry up and get your protein in 30-minute window after your exercise. Muscle repair can even last up to 72 hours after training. So get your protein in across the days, spread it out equally across your meals, and don't try to stuff it in quick after a workout. If you do, great. It's all fine, but there's no drastic benefit as to doing that. One more note on eating before exercise. Try not to eat a huge meal. I have some people that they've tried to eat high fiber foods right before training, and that can lead to some difficulties digesting during a workout. So consider not eating your fiber right before a workout. Consider eating that after. Of course, we need healthy fiber for our meals, but just don't do it before a workout. It'll be hard on your stomach. All right, this next tip on nourishment is for my individuals preparing for physical events, particularly races, 5Ks, half marathons, marathons. But this tip can be applicable to any type of physical event. Practice your event or race day nutrition strategy. Use this time in your longer workouts to practice what you'll actually eat that day. As simple as this sounds, it's really effective because you can end up figuring out what works for your body to avoid any gastrointestinal distress the day of. Trust me, heed my warning on this one. Practice what you'll want to eat. Now, all of these tips summarized into one main one: listen to your body. As simple as that may sound, every single one of these tips, from hydration to nutrition strategies, boils down to knowing your own body's responses and knowing yourself. Do you have an aversion to water? Do you sweat a lot? What foods do you have bad responses to in your gastrointestinal tract? What foods are easier for you to digest? What energy source do you feel better consuming? All these are questions that only you can answer for yourself, but it's critical to answer these before your physical event day, if that's what you're training for. And even if you don't have an event, it's just good to know. It's your body. You got to get to know yourself, right? Now, to summarize, these nutrition citations I want to share with you is just to highlight the whole tennis match that exists between different diet choices. I want to share these citations with you because it shows that we don't know anything. We can't be pigeonholing someone into a diet and say, this is the right way to eat. So you choose for you what you feel best on. All right, let me go ahead and share some of these citations. You'll find they're all over the place. All right, let's dive into Volek et al., published in 2016. This particular study found that athletes that consumed a low carbohydrate, high fat diet were able to burn fat at a rate 2.3 times higher than those on a high carbohydrate diet. Now, while this may showcase fat as a prime energy source for endurance activities, to me, reading this article, it shows that it's better for weight loss in particular. Do we know that it's okay for the long term? Not necessarily. Let's dive into the next research article and see the counter argument. This next article is a review article and actually found that the ketogenic diet is considered not a reasonable nutritional strategy because they found that it has no advantage over a normal, regular, or high carbohydrate diet. This is specifically referring to one's physical performance and training adaptations. So that particular article is saying that it doesn't really benefit anyone. The next article, Murphy et al., published in 2021, had a similar finding. This is a systematic review article, and the findings indicated that the keto diets didn't have a beneficial or a negative impact on physical performance. Interesting finding, looking over all these articles that I shared, is that keto diet tends to be more beneficial for weight loss focuses. But when it comes to performance, there's not really a beneficial or a negative impact on your performance. So what this boils down to, because these are just a few articles of hundreds out there, it's really up to you what diet you choose. Not to bore you with research citations, but for those who appreciate it out there, again, this is just scratching the surface, but I wanted to share this just as an example so that way you understood that when it comes down to it, you choose the right diet that you feel best consuming, and know that with many of these diets out there, there's not a lot of research on the long-term consequences. So make the best decision based on how you feel with your body eating those particular foods. However, this is not as to say that for the wealth of health and wellness in other realms such as blood sugar maintenance, hormone health, and a number of other health conditions and biological factors, that eating this way, and this research states that these are the best choices for everything. And this is just comparing keto to high carbohydrate or normal carbohydrate. I'm a strong believer that to each their own, except when it comes to just eating fast food regularly. Following these guidelines should help you optimize your performance and your recovery for your longer workouts. Good luck training, and as always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments section. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, your health is an investment, not an expense.